All right, let's go ahead and start. Over here, okay? We're gonna go ahead and not everything for the first one. Not everything is inside the absolute value, which are like parentheses, right? So we're gonna have to go ahead and do some stuff before we can actually start making our two inequalities, right? What would you do first? Take away, not divide. No, 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 no. We are going to take away 4 on both sides of the inequality. Very good. So this would be minus 4. That is 0, right? And then I got that negative 4 times absolute value of 6 minus x is less than or equal to negative 24. Okay, so I got rid of that plus 4. Now I need to get rid of the negative 4 that it's multiplied, correct? All right, but you got to remember anything. You got to remember something, right? When you divide or you multiply by a negative number, what happens to that inequality? It changes, okay? So because I'm getting ready to divide by a negative 4, that inequality has to be flipped, okay? So I'm going to divide by a negative 4. So that's 1, right? And then I have 6 minus, absolute value of 6 minus x. Instead of less than, it's going to be what? Greater than or equal to. And then negative 24 divided by negative 4 would be positive 6, not 12, positive 6. That's if you divide it by 2, not 4. It's 6, I'm sorry. All right, now, if you remember from that flip class video that the first one that we did that was on this, since we haven't done one like that, and if you don't remember, it's okay. It was a long time ago. That's why this is up here in your face again before the snapshot next week, so we can bring it back. I needed to switch those around, okay? So instead of, yeah, oh, awesome, very good. So if you remember from the flip video, that negative, we're going to give it to the 6 because it really doesn't matter because it's absolute value. So whatever I get out of there, it's always going to be what? Positive. It's always going to be positive. Absolute value is the distance between that number and 0, so it's always going to be positive, okay? And then that's going to be greater than or equal to 6. Now remember, we put that in the front, and in front of that inequality, we put a negative 6. Okay, so I'm going to do it. I'm going to start doing it over here, if that's okay, and then I'll replace it. Okay, so negative 6, right? You put that all the way to the front. You repeat it. It's the same inequality sign. You with me? All right, and then it would be x minus 6, and then less than or equal to positive 6. And this is where we do our two inequalities, right? Cover the back. That's your first one. Cover the front. That's your second one. Yay? All right. So negative 6 greater than or equal to x minus 6, and x minus 6 greater than or equal to positive 6. And these are my two. Okay? All right, now I'm going to do plus 6 on both sides. All right, so anything that doesn't have a 0, I can take it away, right? Yeah. Because over here, x is less than or equal to 0. So which two can I eliminate? B and C. Okay, and this is exactly what the starting and here will do. As soon as you do one part, you're going to be able to eliminate these two. Okay? And then the next one would be plus 6 plus 6. Do I really need to finish it? There's only one that has a 12, right? X is what? Greater than or equal to 12, and that would be letter A. There you go. And we're done. And we're good. All right? All right. With me? Yes. May I erase or we're still ready? We're still copying? We're still copying? No? Are we good? Okay. All right. Over here, I'm going to move everything to one side, right? And then I'm going to make sure that I do not have, okay, if I have more negative x's, I just got to flip back up. All right? So, 4x minus 7, I'm going to move this. It becomes a minus 6x I'm going to move that, it becomes a minus 2. I'm going to move that, it becomes a minus 8x. And I definitely have more, because these over here are just 4x's, right? 4 times x would be 4x. This over here would be 4x. And that's definitely not more than -6 and -8, so I'm going to have to flip that sign. So instead of greater than, it's going to be less than, and after that, you just go to the calculator and you will take care of this. Correct? Yes, you can. Anything that's an equality or an equation, you can do an equation solve, right? All you have to remember is that if you have more negative x's, you're going to flip that sign. So go ahead and do it. Don't do it out, please. If you're going to have the calculator up and running. Turn it off. It might be that. All right, what do we got, guys? -3. But you have to find the all possible. Find out. Well, everything has to be what? Less than or equal. Less than -3. All right. So if I have to find all possibles, maybe you would want to do this. Open or close circle. Open. And if it's less than, where does it go? To the right or to the left? To the left. The left, right to the left is always the smallest one. To the right is always the big one. Okay? All right. So in here, I got to solve for B. I'm just going to go ahead and name the steps, okay? First thing you need to do is get rid of what? The 3. The 3 is divided. So you're going to get rid of the 5? Okay, so I'm going to multiply by 3. That gets rid of that. And then how do I get rid of the A and the C? Subtract. So I'm going to say minus A, minus C. That takes care of that or that. I'm going to do all of this to A. There you go. That's all. Okay, so B equals 3A minus A minus C. And that's it. All right. I need my paper managers. And my material managers too, because I have a bunch of stuff over here. Let me stop this close. All right, so let's go over it. Where's my pen? There it is. All right. So what does the slope of the graph represent? Oh. We already said that. You need to pay attention when I talk. The slope is the same thing as unit rate. As I mean, unit rate means how many? Look at it. You can figure this out. And I'm asking you, how many? You're not listening to my question. Unit rate means how many? Thank you. Which means how many? What does it mean per? 100? One. Unit. It doesn't say units. Does it? No. It's not plural. It's what? Singular. Slope is the same thing as unit rate. Okay? It's per hour. Basically, it's how much is it changing per hour? How much is it changing per hour? You can figure that out by dividing, right? But what was the answer? What does the slope of the graph represent? The amount of money earned per hour. Not the amount of hours work it takes to earn $320. That wasn't it. Okay, we got it. A lot of you pick A instead of B. Okay, so Mr. Ray needs to go tinkle. Ooh, I just recorded that. I'm starting. You guys are taking forever to do anything. Let's go. Follow me. Go. Follow me. You can do that on your own time. Let's go. This is more important. We did 1, 2, 3. 4, 5, 6. Okay, what was your question? Remind me again. Y equals 30,000. Somebody's talking. Are we good? Okay, so we did the rate of change? And we did the starting point? Alright, so continuous or discrete? Continuous because it's height and it could be any height you want to, right? You cannot shove somebody in half, but you can definitely do half a height or something like that, okay? Domain. So domain will be your minutes, right? This would be your minutes. From 0 to? Can you, okay, let's think about this. Can you just keep on going down, forever and ever? No, at some point you have to hit a graph. Aren't you? Yes. Stop talking, pay attention. So we have to figure out, right? At 0, the airplane is all the way over here at 30,000, right? Yes. What is wrong with my board today? Yeah, the board needs coffee. Yeah, that's true. Okay, so at some point, it starts in 0. You guys are definitely right? But at some point, I cannot keep going in time forever because if I do, I have to safely get to the ground, right? So there's a limit of time that's going to take that airplane to go from 30,000 feet all the way to 0 ground, which is ground level, right? So what do you think I need to do in the equation? Remember, this is the height, right? And those are the minutes. This is X and that is Y. So ultimately, I want to figure out how many minutes will it take for that plane to go from 30,000 feet all the way to the ground. Divide 30,000 by? Maybe. And I think she's right. But this is what, Carlos, you need to stop repeating everything people say, okay? This is getting really annoying. You need to stop repeating everything people say. Otherwise, you're going to have to go to the end of the room because I'm not going to be able to handle you in the front. Just so you know. All right. So what I'm going to do is ultimately I want to figure out how much is my X when that equals 0. And you end up dividing because when you solve for X, you got to take that to the other side and then divide by negative 2,000. So she's correct. Okay, so this is what I would have done. I would have taken my equation, which is Y equals 30,000 feet minus 2,000x. I want a height of 0, right? Because I can now go below 0 because otherwise I crash the plane. Correct? Are you with me or not? Yes? Alright, so then I would go ahead and figure out how much would that be? Okay? How much would x be at a height of what? 0. Okay, go ahead and do that. You can do that with a calculator. Oh, like Yvette said, divided by? How would you write it in the calculator? It's already equal to 0, right? Do you have to do anything to write it in the calculator? No. It's already equal to 0. How much? 15 what? Thank you. So Yvette says that x equals 15 minutes. If you don't have that 15, keep on working on your calculator. Don't stop. Some of the students are the answer. We got 15. So what is my range, my domain? From 0 to what? To 15, because at minute 16, what has happened to that plane? It crashed. It went underground and it crashed. Okay? Very good. So it's not to infinity, it's only all the way to what? To 15. Okay. What about the range? The range is the height. 30,000 to what? 0. There you go. Put it in. If you go below 0, what else happens to the plane? It crashes. Okay. All right. What is the height of the plane after 9.5 minutes? What do you guys should tell me how you know how to do that? Plug it in what? Substitute what? X, because X is what? Minutes. Very good. So all you're going to have to do is go to that equation and say 30,000 minus 2,000 times 9.5. What did you guys get? 11,000 what? Pairs of shoes I got home? There you go. 11,000 minutes. Are we good? Okay? I'm sorry, it's not minutes. You're right. It's what? That doesn't make sense, right? 11,000 minutes doesn't make sense. Thank you. And I had coffee this morning. Enough? I don't know if I guess. 11,000 feet? Isn't that what, honey? I put minutes instead of feet. We're looking for feet. Yeah, it's supposed to be 11,000. My board is acting up today. I don't know what's going on with my board. I guess I can't write too fast. All right. Did anybody have a chance to sketch it? Is it a negative or a positive slope? How do you know that it's a negative slope? It's going, it's descending. It's going down. Very good. Okay. Now, did anybody have a chance to do 1 through 7? You did? Awesome. Can we go over it? Yay? All right. So the power decides to decrease the amount of feet descend in each minute to half. So what does that mean? No, let's read it again. The pilot decides to decrease the amount of feet descent in each minute to half. So, what, raise your hand, because I have too many people talking and I don't understand what any of you are saying. Thank you. Instead of 2,000 feet per minute, now it's going to be what? 1,000 feet per minute. Okay, so if you graph this, right? This should probably go something like this, right? How would you expect that new equation to look? More steep or less steep? Less. How do you know? Very good. Because the rate of change is what? It's smaller. It's half of it. Very good. So let's go ahead and write the equation. What's my equation? Y equals? Minus, you can start with a minus 1,000. It's A-okay. It's A-okay. You can say minus 1,000x plus 30,000. Who says you have to start with the 30,000? You don't. You can put the slope first. That's very good. Either way. All right. So that graph should look what? Less steeper. So where would you? How would you sketch it over here? At the bottom? No, you start at the same point. I start at the same point. Would it be over or would it be under? Over. So is this steeper or is that steeper? What did we say steeper was? Yesterday, the steeper it is, the more vertical it was. The less steep it was, the more horizontal it was. So where would it be? Would it be over or would it be under? It would be over. Very good. It would be over. And I'm going to put it over here, and it's going to be a little over. Oh, yeah, Jimmy. Jimmy! It's not stylistic now. I have to name his name is Jimmy. It's Jimmy. All right. So what's the rate of change? Negative. What's my starting point on my y intercept? 30,000. Okay, what's the domain?
Bracket 0.
Okay. Okay, domain is what? What's domain? Minutes. Have you calculated how many minutes will it take for that plane to get to 0? To get to ground? With the new equation?
No.
Really? Okay, thank you. No. You have to calculate the range. Remember, if that plane hits less than 0, as on me, if that plane hits less than 0, we're dead. We won't be dead. Okay? So the height needs to be what? 0. So you go back to that equation and you say 0 equals negative 1,000x plus 30,000, and you solve for x. Okay? What do you got, Simon? 30? 30 minutes? Does it make sense that it was 15 on the other one and 30 right now?
Yes.
Yes, because then it's half of it, which means the distance will be more, because now the plane is descending at a slower rate, right? So it would be 30. Good job. Now, what about the range? Will the range change? No, because you still want to go from 30,000 to 0. Okay, so what type of transformation has occurred? No, we didn't shift. Say that again? No, it said 30, because remember, it was 2,000. At 2,000, it was 15 minutes. So at 1,000, because that's slower, it's going to be what? 30 minutes. Okay? Right? Does it make sense? The faster it goes down, the less time it's going to take. But now it's going down a little slower, so it's going to take more time. And because it's double, because it's half of it, it's going to double over here. Okay? All right, so what transformation? We went to from f of x to what? Divided by 2. So that would be f of what? Half of x. Very good. It will be half of x. And that makes the line less steep, right? So let's see. So higher, when the slope is higher, we have steeper line, right? Okay? And when the slope is slower, we have less steepness, right? Okay, so let's repeat everything that we have learned between yesterday and today. If we add to the y, okay, let me give you some time to talk to write. I'm sorry. I forget that you have to write after me, and then I keep talking. I'm sorry. I like to hear myself talk. Okay, so I'm sorry. All right, so if I do this, how have I transformed it? Okay, so what have I done to the graph? So exactly, so what have I done to the graph? Look at your notes. We did that yesterday. What do you do? Okay, so it shifts what? Say it again, Carlos. Thank you. It shifts up. Am I writing it right? I don't think I am. Yay or nay? Okay, I'm a horrible speller. I can do math, but I cannot write. Okay, now if I do this, and what happened? It should get out. Okay. All right. So these things are important. These 4 things that I'm going to write in a minute, okay? So you need to know this. Now, if I do this, what have I done to it? Double what? No, I increased the slope, which what's going to happen to the line? Steeper. Thank you. This is a steeper line, right? I just made it steeper. But if I do this, what have I done? I made it less steep. Very good. Oh, and I did it again. All right. Those 4 things you have done. Okay. So if I add to the 100%, shift it up. If you take away from the 100%, shift it down. If you increase the slope, steeper. If you decrease the slope, less. Okay? That's all. That's all. That's all. That's all, folks. Are we good? Okay? All right. Let's go ahead and do the with the domain. With the domain. Yeah, let's do that. So cover flipboard. Yes. Yes, you can use your phone. And we do the crazy spaghetti tomorrow because we can't do it today.